Let me start with the news about Anthony Joshua teaming up with Oleksandr Usyk. Look, I don't mind the idea. Like I can entertain it. It's, you know what I mean? Like it's a positive move for Anthony Joshua if I look at it like that, because obviously look, Joshua lost twice to Oleksandr Usyk, yeah? First fight got outclassed, second fight he did a little bit better, but still Joshua just wasn't at the level of Usyk. So you know what they say, yeah? If you can't beat him, join him. You know, that's exactly what Anthony Joshua is doing. Yeah, he couldn't beat Oleksandr Usyk. So you know what? He's joining him so he can gain some knowledge, learn some new skills. Even though some people say that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, I think with Oleksandr Usyk, Joshua will learn a few new tricks. I actually believe that. But for me, with Joshua, it's not really about who's coaching Joshua, you know, because in the last couple of years, Joshua's had different trainers in it. I think he's been with Derrick James. He was with Derrick James for a while. Then he had Robert Garcia. Then he had Ben Davison for the last fight, the last couple of fights. I think he had Ben Davison for the Dubois fight. I think he had him for the Ngannou fight. And I think he had him for the Otto Wallen as well. Yeah, so 3 fights with Ben Davison. They were going well until obviously the Daniel Dubois fight where he got absolutely obliterated. And it just looked like ever since then, maybe the relationship was fractured a little bit, because we all heard what Ben Davison said to Anthony Joshua in the corner, right? He said to him, roll the dice, you know, and Joshua went out there, rolled the dice, and we know what happened, right? The rest is history. But it looks like Anthony Joshua is going to walk away from Ben Davison to join Oleksandr Usyk. Like I said, I don't mind it all. Like, if that's what makes Anthony Joshua happy, then so be it. Do it, because I'm a firm believer that you go where you're happy, man. Do you know what I mean? Go where you can find happiness. If he's not happy with Ben Davison, if he feels like maybe Ben Davison is not really giving him the attention that he deserves, because Ben Davison is got Moses Ituma there, and he's got Fabio Wardley as well. You know, these are much younger guys. Do you know what I mean? They're on the up, while Anthony Joshua is on the down, on the decline. So Ben Davis is probably like, you know, I'm going to focus on them two guys, man. Anthony Joshua, you're probably the biggest superstar out of the three. You got the most money, but you know what? These two guys have more potential, so I want to focus more on them. So Anthony Joshua probably figure, you know what? Let me get the hell out of here. Let me go join the White Rabbit, Oleksandr Usyk. You know, maybe I can learn something new. But like I said, man, with Joshua, is really a mentality thing. It's not about what coach he's gonna join, because even teaming up with Usyk, yeah, there's only so much that he can learn, you know, because Joshua hasn't really got a long time left at the top. He hasn't. Maybe I say 2-3 fights at max. So it's not, even if he joins up with Team Usyk, he's not gonna improve massively. There's not gonna be a massive improvement. I mean, think of someone like Oleksandr Usyk, how long it took for him to craft his skills, how long it took for him to be Oleksandr Usyk that we see today, man. He's been boxing since he was a kid, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. You know, great amateur career, over 360 fights. It took him a long time for him to develop the skills and to develop the style. So think about Anthony Joshua, is 35 years old, different trainers in the last couple of years. Like, he's not really going to develop a new style. The thing with Joshua, his mentality is the problem. Ever since he lost against Andy Ruiz, we've never seen the same Joshua ever again. Let's keep it real. He's been gun shy. He's just not had the confidence. He doesn't trust in himself. He doesn't believe in himself to take a punch. Every time he gets hit, his eyes light up, you know? He looks bamboozled. He looks, oh my God, what's going on here? You know what I mean? It's like Joshua's having an identity crisis in this current moment. So for me, it doesn't really matter who he joins, what coach he joins, who he brings in. It don't really matter, because with AJ, it's all in his head. Where is he? Like, in terms of his mindset, where is he? Where is his mindset at the moment with Anthony Joshua? Has he still got that hunger? Has he still got that belief? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Look, AJ can still go out and have 1 or 2 fights. And the big fight that we all want to see is the Tyson Fury fight. You know, that's the fight that we all want to see. However, Tyson Fury is kind of not really entertaining it. So where does Anthony Joshua go from there? That's another problem for Anthony Joshua. Once upon a time, he was the top. Everyone wanted to fight him. Now he's on a decline. The fight that he wants in Tyson Fury doesn't really want to entertain it. So Joshua is in limbo right now. He's at a crossroads and he's having an identity crisis. The whole thing is just a mess. Yeah. Now I'm gonna play you an interview which Johnny Nelson, former champion, cruiserweight champion, he did an interview with Sky, and I agree fully with what Johnny Nelson said. I want to play for you guys right now so you can just listen up to what Johnny Nelson said. I'm going to flip my screen so that you can listen up as well. I agree with what Johnny Nelson said. You know, I really agree with him. I'm going to play for you guys now so you can listen up.
I want to cover a couple of news things, if you don't mind. Eddie Hearn has come out and said, look, Anthony Joshua will box before the end of the year. It's not going to top the bill with it. It's more than likely going to be an undercard fight, possibly over 8 rounds. And we're hearing, I've seen Chris McKenna tweeting that he's hearing that maybe AJ is linking up with or having a trial with Team Usyk. What did you make of all of that?
I think I'd probably made my decision in regards to AJ. I think now this is just business for AJ because, you know, as a young fighter coming through, you're chomping at the bit to get in the ring to fight. AJ's been out of the ring too long to tell me the appetite that's needed is still there. And I gave an example of Nigel Benn and Steve Collins. Who would ever have expected Nigel Benn to quit midway through a fight? That means when the fire's gone in your belly, you can kid yourself and con yourself, but when the fight's on you, you think, I don't want this enough. I think AJ's there. So if he's going to fight, he's going to box on an undercard, a guy that used to believe he was the best fighter in the world. That's a hard thing to accept and a hard thing for others to understand if you were never the best in the world. But then, you know, it's about the ambition, what you want to do. If it's business, you've got get it. I just don't know how far this is going to go. Of course, I'm quite sure Eddie won't be happy hearing something like this, but that's just one of those things. This is our game we're in. I think Anthony Joshua's done an amazing thing for our sport in this country. I think he could go on to be an amazing asset to boxing outside of the ring, promoter. He has an amazing stable of people who are half out, and boxing's the wrong place to be when you're half in, half out. He's got to make his mind up what he's going to do.
We've got 1 minute before we have to say goodbye. Eddie Hearn has said there's 2 things he wants to do before he does sail off: become world champion again and fight Tyson Fury. Can either of those be a possibility in your mind?
No and no. I think these two have danced around each other long enough, and so if it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. I think in regards to becoming a world champion again, it's back to that appetite. I don't think the appetite's there for AJ, and again, he's done amazing things in our sport. His thirst has been quenched, so this is a habit. It's just hard to shake. So you want to walk away from the game before the game walks away from you.
I fully agree with what Johnny Nelson said there, man. I don't think Anthony Joshua still has the hunger to really get the business. Look, the Tyson Fury fight might come. I think that'll happen. I think the Tyson Fury fight does happen. But in terms of Anthony Joshua becoming world champion, I highly doubt it, man. I just feel like there's a couple fighters up there that will smoke AJ. And I'm a big AJ fan, and I don't really want to be talking like this, but I just have to keep it real with myself, keep it real with everyone else. Because I know a lot of you guys and girls think the same. Like Anthony Joshua, just doesn't have that hunger anymore. You know, for me personally, he does not have that hunger. So for me, just like Johnny Nelson said, Anthony Joshua can do so much more for boxing outside of the ring. You know, he can be a promoter, he can be a mentor to a lot of these up and coming fights. Do you know what I mean? He can teach fighters when it comes to branding. Like, do you know what I mean? Anthony Joshua's built a crazy business, man. A big business, a big brand. His empire is big. He's made a lot of money and he can do a lot for boxing. But all these talks about fighting for world championships again, not for me, man. It's not going to happen. But the Tyson Fury fight, I think it will happen. I think that's going to happen. It will be an absolute travesty if both Fury and Joshua retire and we never see that fight again. I mean, that cannot be allowed. That cannot be allowed to happen. I think the powers that be have to do absolutely everything to make sure that Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua happens. there's no way that fight can't happen. But in terms of Anthony Joshua becoming world champion again, nah, I don't think so, man. I just don't see how it happens unless Usyk drops one of the belts, Wardley gets elevated to champion, and then they just throw AJ in there against Wardley. But again, can AJ beat Wardley right now on current form? Nah, because I feel like Wardley's got better chin. In terms of punching power, maybe AJ punches harder. But I think once Wardley touches AJ's chin, AJ's going down, man. Because I reckon when AJ touches Wardley's chin, I think Wardley has shown us in the last couple of fights that he's got a grit. Do you know what I mean? He's got that mental edge on fighters that he can take a shot and come back. In fact, when he takes a shot, he wants to even beat you up even more. So Wardley will be a nightmare for Anthony Joshua. The best thing for Anthony Joshua now, team up with Usyk, do whatever you need to do, learn the new skills, bring us the fight against Tyson Fury in 2026. That's the one that I want to see for Anthony Joshua. But my people, I want to leave you there, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, man. What do you think? Anthony Joshua teaming up with Oleksandr Usyk. Can you teach an old dog new tricks? What improvements can Usyk bring to Joshua's game? Like, I don't really see much. Yes, the movement might improve. You know what I mean? Bit of head movement, foot movement might improve. Improve on the jab, but there's really not much more. That's just my honest opinion. For me, it's all about AJ's hunger and desire and his mentality. Has he still got what it takes? Does he still believe in himself to get the job done? Right at the top? For me, no. I don't think so. But anyway, time will tell. Time will tell. Let's wait and see how things develop in the last couple of months. And, let's see what happens in 2026. But my people, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll really appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. Please don't forget to smash the likes. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. You're really going to help us to grow. I'll be back real soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace.